Statistics from Cybersecurity Ventures predicted there will be a ransomware attack on businesses every 14 seconds at the end of 2019 and every 11 seconds by 2021. This does not include attacks on individuals, which occurs even more frequently than businesses. Same source also forecasts cybercrime will cost the world $6 trillion annually by 2021, growing by 15% per year over the next 5 years. By 2025, the figure is expected to reach $10.5 trillion up from $3 trillion in 2015. The latest prediction is that global ransomware damage costs will reach $20 billion in 2021, which is 57 times more than it was in 2015. This makes ransomware the fastest growing type of cybercrime. Cybercrime is the greatest threat to every company in the world and one of the biggest problems with mankind. In 2020, there was a need for an ecosystem of remote work to avoid the COVID-19 pandemic, causing an increase in cyber attacks and breaches. Some governments, organizations, companies, and even individuals were not prepared for the digital makeover, so most paid a heavy price for such attacks. As the global cyber surface expanded, hackers took advantage of the gaps in new remote work environments. They stepped up their game and expanded their attack surface to unsuspecting and unprepared environments. Now that working from home has become commonplace, governments, organizations, and individuals need to secure their access and step up security tools to prevent a hack on their networks, because no matter how advanced their defenses are, hackers are continuously devising new methods to get more sophisticated as they gain access to confidential data. On this week's edition, our guest is Remy Affon, a cybersecurity assurance consultant, and he shares with us how we can better protect ourselves when using digital services.
Remy, glad to have you on the show today.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me today.
Awesome. So how would you describe the cybersecurity landscape globally in 2020?
2020 has been a very interesting year, due to a lot of reasons. One, the pandemic, especially in Nigeria, talking about NSAS as well. Those are the factors that were quite interesting in 2020. Also, the pandemic resulted in a lot of people working remotely, working from home, new way of working. So this resulted in a lot of interesting activities in terms of organizations trying to adapt to a new way of working, making sure there's security in terms of how they collaborate with their colleagues at work. And also looking at the NSAS protests, which resulted in a lot of activism in Nigeria. Activism is a situation whereby people put a protest online and they try to take down some other organizations, some government organizations, sending what we call a denial of service attacks on them, and some other activities to show their kind of grievances against the government.
Interesting. Let me ask you this question. As we go into 2021, what are some of the emerging trends that you see in both the cybersecurity landscape as well as privacy with the new, WhatsApp rules by Facebook? What are your thoughts?
There's going to be a massive increase in email-based attacks, and we're talking about BEC, business email compromise, phishing, spear phishing, and just in November, a couple of Nigerians were arrested that were involved in over 150 countries attack. They were involved in attacking about 150 countries using the BEC technique, business email compromise. And that's just what business email compromise is: just targeting the CEOs, targeting the financial controllers of big organizations, and pretending to be them and sending emails to steal their information, to divert them to make money into their own account rather than legitimate third parties' account. So we're going to continue to see that in 2021. There's going to be continuous identity theft. Identity theft from cyber criminals. And there's also going to be, you mentioned Facebook, WhatsApp, the new the updates of their terms and policies. So there's going to be greed on the part of organizations like social media companies to continuously mine our data, to continuously look for our data and monetize it. Data is now the new oil. So they're making millions, if not billions of dollars in terms of data. So they will continuously be greedy to get more of our data, and people will, gladly release their personal information. For example, the new terms and conditions, they can submit all your information from WhatsApp to Facebook. They can trace your IP address, know where you are. So there's no privacy anymore. But there's a limitation to that. There are some places where those kind of things are not acceptable. There's a limited amount of information they can mine in Europe, for example, because we've got GDPR.
So what about Nigeria?
Nigeria, there's no data protection law. That's just the fact.
But there's NDPR.
There is NDPR. It's just advisory as far as I'm concerned. We need a law, that will protect people's data. NDPR, have you heard of anybody that has been punished based on data protection, data theft? Have you got anybody that have been punished? Have you seen? So the issue is that we need a law, and we need, and to be honest with you, the data protection regulation has been passed. The law has been passed by National Assembly, both lower house and the upper house, but the president is yet to assent to it, which is quite questionable. Why is it that the president has not assented to that law? So if that's been done, it becomes a law, then it will be difficult for companies like Facebook, Google, and some other organizations to just go away with our data and start monetizing it unnecessarily without people's consent.
Remy, as a president of the Cybersecurity Association of Nigeria, what do you and your members think about this hasty registration of national identity? Does it portend any cybersecurity threat for the country?
These are not just things that you just wake up one day and give people ultimatum within 2 weeks, within 1 month, we have to roll this out. So when you do things this way, you're going to compromise the security because you have not put in the consideration to security properly. So we should look at how is the data going to be stored? Are they going to be encrypted? Are they going to be transmitted? I understand they are using some third parties, a company, to handle the data. Are they certified? What's the qualification they've got in terms of data privacy and data protection?
Did you follow the dark web allegation of the data? Did you guys follow that?
Yeah, we did follow it. I personally saw the screenshots on LinkedIn by one of these organizations that claim that they are able to see the NIN number and tracking number in the dark web. Unfortunately, the NIMC, they kind of just push it aside and debunk that allegation, which is right. I would expect them to do a kind of threat intelligence, go into that dark web, look at the information there and know the level of, if there's any, because it's an allegation, look at the level of damages that must have been done and be able to learn some lesson from this and move on. You can't just say fake news and just forget about it.
So finally, time is about our friend on this show. I've asked you this question before and I'm asking you again. Do we have adequate resources as a country to protect ourselves in the face of an unexpected cyber attack?
Unfortunately, my answer has continuously been no. When you asked me this kind of question some years back, I said no. Last year, no. This year again, no. Unfortunately, we do not have the resources in place. We do not have the infrastructure in place. If there's a serious cyber attack now, it's going to expose us a lot. So, and that's the reason why we keep saying it. There's a need for, national cybersecurity unit within the organization that will be coordinating all the affairs of cybersecurity in Nigeria and also protecting the government, the critical infrastructure that we have in place, and also do a lot of research and development to ensure that Nigeria is ahead in terms of cybersecurity globally.
Remy, always a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you for the work that you guys do at Cybersecurity Association. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, and have a good day.
My guest has been Remy Afon, a cybersecurity consultant who believes that government still has quite a lot to do in terms of securing our cyberspace and ensuring that Nigerians across board are protected when using digital services, as well as keeping our national assets safe. Cybersecurity is no joke, and we should treat it with the seriousness it deserves. We've come to the end of the show. It doesn't end here. The conversation continues online. We are Tech Trends TV on social media. Also watch the show on Channels TV YouTube or cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.